It's the Astros and the Braves in the World Series. Astros fans, hit that like if you feel good about your chances. Braves fans, hit that like if you feel good about your chances. We're doing this live. The game just ended, Game 6, Braves-Dodgers. So one take, no edits. Be sure watch all the way through, not just for all the key stats and matchups, but to see if I can do this without screwing up. In this video, like in the previous previews, we're going to dive into everything you need to know heading into this matchup. The key stats, key players, head-to-head matchups, X factors, and what each team needs to do to win. The Astros took care of the Red Sox in the ALCS after falling down 2-1. The Astros shut the Red Sox bats down, only allowing 3 runs over the final 27 innings. The Braves take care of the Dodgers. They avoid another 3-1 advantage collapse. It looked a little worrisome there after losing Game 5, but they get it done in Game 6. Eddie Rosario comes up huge, so the Braves take care of the Dodgers. Even though, in my opinion, I felt the Dodgers probably had a little bit more motivation seeing Houston clinch, still the Braves get it done. So we're going to dive into these two teams. Interesting to note, these two teams did not meet up during the regular season. So this is the first time they're actually seeing each other, the Braves and the Astros, since the 2017 regular season. That year, the Astros actually swept the season series 4-0. Now, many of the same hitters are there from both sides, but it's a completely different staff on the Houston side. The Astros back then were throwing out Morton, Keuchel, Musgrove, Peacock, Fires, McHugh, McCullers, who, as we all know, is still with Houston, but is out for the World Series. So let's take a look at these two teams. We are going to start with the Astros, 95-67, the American League West champions. They took care of the White Sox and the Red Sox. So you could say the Astros really took care of the laundry, didn't they? But let's take a look at the Astros Bats. During the regular season, a great group. Second in OPS, fifth in home runs, first in hits overall, number 1 in batting average with runners in scoring position. And we're going to talk about that. That has continued here in the postseason. A 797 OPS, 67 runs scored, the most, and maybe most importantly, a 360 batting average with runners in scoring position and a 341 batting average with 2 outs. And, oh, by the way, 44 runs driven in with 2 outs, more than double the next team in that category. The Houston Astros, in those clutch moments, have been amazing. And coming into the World Series, Yordan Alvarez, this is going to be great because you have Yordan Alvarez, the hottest hitter in the American League, against Eddie Rosario, the hottest hitter in the National League. The two of them are going to go head-to-head to see who's the best hitter on the planet right now. In the postseason, Alvarez 15 for 34, 441, plus 8 walks. It's good for a 535 on-base percentage with 2 homers and 18 runs contributed. If you're wondering, runs contributed, that is adding runs and RBI, subtracting the number of home runs. Can't count that number twice. Also hitting well coming into the World Series, Gurriel is hitting 333 with a homer. Brantley is hitting 311. Tucker has 4 home runs and 20 runs contributed. McCormick is hitting well, 6 for 19. And he's been good. And the names we all watch for, Bregman hitting 282, Correa 297, while Altuve is only hitting 200. He has hit 3 home runs. And what's kind of remarkable, I don't know how often I've seen this. He has a 100% run to on-base ratio. What's that? Okay. He scored 15 runs. He has 8 hits and 7 walks. So that's 15 times he's been on base. If he's on base, it has turned into a run this postseason for the Astros. That's kind of crazy. Now, normally at this point, this is where we would kind of dive into the head-to-head matchups, but like we said, there aren't any. The Astros and the Braves did not meet up at all, so let's dive into the Astros. Let's look at the starters. Let's look at the bullpen. During the year, the rotation was one of the best staffs in baseball. ERA, 3.6, that was second best. WHIP, second best. Opposing batting average, that was tied for first. Now, no McCullers, that does hurt, but with Valdez, Garcia, and Urquidy, they have some good starters. Valdez during the regular season, 11-6. In the playoffs, he's 1-0. Garcia during the regular season, 11-8 with a 3.30 ERA. In the playoffs, 3 starts, 1-1, 9.64, but he comes off of a really nice start against Boston his last time out. Urquidy during the regular season, 8-3, 3.62 ERA. In the playoffs, just that one start, he got rocked, but he was steady during the regular season, and obviously don't expect much out of Greinke. He's just not a factor right now. The Astros bullpen, they got better as the season went on. The trade deadline bringing in Graveman, that was a big piece. Presley settled in during the regular season, an ERA over 4, a whip of 1.3, not good, but in the postseason, the batting average against 230, the ERA 3.42, the whip 1.18. So good stuff from the Astros bullpen in the postseason. And it's been Stanek, Maton, Graveman, Presley, and Christian Javier getting the job done out of the bullpen. Let's take a look and let me give you some X factors here for the Astros now. This might feel like it's cheating, but it's the starters. It's Valdez. It's Garcia. It's Urquidy. It's not the star power of Cole and Verlander and Greinke, but these 3 are good. Valdez and Garcia come in with momentum of pitching extremely well their last times out. Urquidy is very steady. And of the 3, is the only one that has World Series experience. He pitched in 2 games in the World Series against the Nats, went 1-0 with no runs allowed over 5 2/3 innings. Obviously, if your starters pitch well, you're in position to win games. So this is not a very exciting X factor. It's not very X factor-ish at all. But in this case, these 3, they're not big names, no big salaries, relatively unknown on a national scale, no extensive playoff experience. They have surprised most and defied the odds to get to this position, and now that could be the key to winning the World Series. You had teams like the Dodgers and the Padres and the White Sox and the Brewers build these super staffs, but they're not here, and the Astros are. So you got to give some credit to the Astros and what those guys have done. Now, let's get to the National League champs, the Braves. We're going to dive into the Braves. First up, 88-73, the National League East winners, the fewest wins of any playoff team. But they have earned their way here again by taking out the Brewers, by taking out the Dodgers. Let's take a look at these Atlanta Bats. Freeman, Albies, Riley were the leaders during the regular season. All hit 30 home runs and either had 100 runs driven in or 100 runs scored during the regular season. As a team, a good squad. 4th in OPS, 2nd home runs, number 1 batting average, runners in scoring position. These Braves Bats during the regular season. In the postseason, Freeman has kept it up and then some with an OPS over 1,000. While Riley's been up and down, Albies has had his struggles, but they've had huge performances. And huge is an understatement, it feels like, from Eddie Rosario. Jock Peterson has had some really big moments. Duvall has had some big moments as well. Rosario, the hottest hitter on the team. Altogether, heading into the World Series, Rosario, 18 for 38, 3 homers, a 1,300 OPS. That's amazing. Freddie Freeman, 10 for 34 with 3 homers, the OPS over 1,000. Jock, 8 for 29, 3 homers, a 909 OPS. Riley, 2 homers, a 752 OPS, so you've got some good stuff there. Sort of neutral, not great, but also not stinking up the joint. Albies is 11 for 42. He has scored 8 runs. That's key. Duvall, again, 8 for 35 with a homer. Soler has missed a ton of time because of the COVID thing. 2 for 13 plus a couple walks. Had the double against Kenley Jansen. Now, he didn't come around to score, but just getting a double off of Kenley Jansen. Kenley Jansen has been really good this postseason. Is a good sign heading into the World Series. A couple bats that have been struggling. Dansby Swanson has struggled, 9 for 38. He has only scored 3 runs and driven in 1. And d'Arnaud, 6 for 31 with 13 strikeouts, but he's done a good job defensively in this NLCS. Here's what's really interesting. The Braves get to use the DH in Houston. So you're going to have Soler and Peterson in the lineup. So that DH is going to help Atlanta big time. You know, sometimes National League team, you have a situation where they get the DH, but they don't really have a DH. The Atlanta Braves have a DH. they have a need for that extra bat. So they are going to be able to use that, and that is going to be definitely something that they are going to be able to benefit from. All right, let's get into the pitching. The regular season, let's look at the starters. A good staff, all right? Fourth in team ERA, the rotation was fifth in whip, third in batting average against. Pretty good. And in the postseason, they have kept it going, all right? They kept the bullpen fresh. Of the final four teams, the Braves bullpen had thrown the least amount of innings, and that is thanks to the starters, Anderson, Fried, and Morton. They take the ball, they consume innings, they give the Braves a chance to win. Also, of the final four teams, they have the best collective ERA. The starters do it, 3.38. So they have been good. Yes, Casey Fitzsimmons, Astros DH is Alvarez. I understand. That's not my point. My point is National League teams usually roll in and they are like, what are we going to do with this DH spot? The Braves are not in that position. The Braves getting the DH, that's good for them. That'll benefit them. All right. Don't want to be misunderstood as far as that goes. Let's dive into these pitchers again. Morton, during the regular season, 14-6, 3.34 ERA. In the playoffs, 3 starts, 0-1, doesn't have a win, 3.77 ERA. You got to think Morton is lined up for that game 1 start against the Astros, which means you're going to get at least 2 starts from Charlie Morton against his old team. Interesting subplot. Charlie Morton was on that 2017 Astros team that won the World Series, so we'll see what he does in this situation. He does have some history. We talked about it earlier. These two teams haven't played since 2017, so there's not a lot of head-to-head history between Atlanta and Houston. But because of Morton's time in the American League with Tampa, there is some history against the Astros with Morton. This is really odd. Martin Maldonado, kind of a forgotten bat in the Astros lineup. 7 for 13 with 4 walks against Charlie Morton. He has hit him the best. I guess we'll watch that. I don't really know what to think about that. Altuve is just 2 for 10. Brantley 3 for 15. Bregman 1 for 4. But again, it's Maldonado. So I guess we'll watch that. Max Fried during the regular season, 14-7, 3.04 ERA. In the postseason, 3 starts, 1-1, a 3.78 ERA. Ian Anderson in the regular season, 9-5, a 3.58 ERA. In the postseason, 3 starts, 1-0, a 2.25 ERA. So you like what you got. And Ian Anderson came up big in Game 6 against the Dodgers. How about that bullpen? It wasn't a great strength during the regular season. In the National League, 6th in ERA, 8th in whip, batting average against, 10th. The bullpen was almost a liability. But in the postseason, again, they're the fresher group heading into the World Series. Now, everyone's going to get fresh, right? Because the World Series doesn't start till Tuesday. So everyone's going to be good to go. But the Braves definitely did not exhaust that bullpen. That's been good. Tyler Matzik, amazing. What he did in Game 6 is something that Braves fans will talk about for a long time, especially if they go on to win the World Series. What he did in Game 6, coming in that situation with 2 on, nobody out, having to get 3 outs, runners on second and third. Unbelievable job by Tyler Matzik. Absolutely amazing what he did in Game 6. Then you've got A.J. Minter, Will Smith, and Jesse Chavez, who have not allowed a run the entire postseason. Not just the NLCS, the entire postseason. You got 3 guys that have not allowed a run. Blanks are what they have put up. It's unbelievable. Braves X Factor. Now, you're probably thinking I was cheating with the Astros X Factor. You're going to think I'm cheating again here, but I'm going with the new bats. I came into this postseason, the very first Braves postseason series preview, I gave you the collective group that was acquired back in July as the X Factor. They sort of have been the X Factor that has carried them to this point, and they are going to be the X Factor continuing forward. Jock Peterson, Soler, Rosario, and Duvall. Again, it kind of feels like cheating, but to be honest, they are the difference. The Braves were floundering at the deadline. Bringing in this group revitalized the franchise and has led them to the World Series. Both Soler and Duvall during the regular season were amazing after being picked up, and Rosario went to a whole new level in the NLCS. Jock Peterson was great against Milwaukee and did well in the series against LA. Peterson didn't have the level of impact I thought he would have, but still, Jock Peterson really awesome. We get to see Jocktober continue into the World Series. So they fill out the lineup. They make it incredibly tough to pitch to, and could be the reason the Braves win the World Series. So you got to just watch those bats. Unbelievable job by Alex Anthopoulos making those moves and getting that done. How do the Astros win the World Series? Braves fans, I know you just won. You don't want to hear too much about this right now, but how do the Astros win? If they keep hitting like they have with runners in scoring position and with 2 outs, remember, 360 batting average with runners in scoring position, a 341 batting average with 2 outs, 44 RBI with 2 outs, I don't see how they lose. If they keep that up and they can get some quality innings from the starters, you know the lineup's going to hit. The combination of pitching and clutch timely hitting will be impossible to stop. That is going to be big. Now, could that have just been an indication of the Red Sox pitching? Can the Braves slow that down? I kind of think they will. How do the Braves win? Got to get to those Houston starters. Got to rock them. Got to shake them. Again, Valdez has not been in the World Series. Neither has Garcia. Garcia's a rookie. Urquidy has, but not too much. Just 5 innings. But get to the starters. Score early in games. They've been more effective against starters and middle relievers than they have against the back ends of the bullpens. Innings 1 through 6. The Braves offense have scored 30 of their 40 runs, a 266 batting average. From the 7th inning on, they're only hitting about 209. So there's the opportunity to score runs. And that actually lines up with the Astros ERA. The Astros ERA, innings 1 through 6, is 5.55, and the ERA from the 7th inning on is 2.25. So that's what I tell you. Braves got to get those runs. They got to get them early, because once it gets to the back end of the bullpen, the Astros bullpen is really tough. So the opportunity is to get the runs, got to get them early, and they have to slow Houston down. The runners in scoring position, the 2-out hitting, that has to slow down. That way the Astros are hitting in 2-out situations and runners in scoring position is unbelievable. This is going to be an amazing World Series. This is going to go 6 at least. I want to know who you think will win, all right? If you're live with me in the chat, let me know who is going to win. Who is your World Series champion? Is it the Astros? Is it the Braves? If you're catching the replay of this, comment in the comment section. Who do you have winning? How many games? And give me a World Series MVP. I want to know the World Series MVP. Does Alvarez keep it going? Does Rosario keep it going? Obviously, the World Series MVP will be attached to whoever wins the thing. But give me your World Series MVP. Give me your World Series champion. Again, so comment and let me know. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe if you are new. If you're excited about the World Series getting going, hit that like. Subscribe if you're new, if you're just finding the channel for the first time. If baseball is your thing, that's what this channel is all about. I think you will like to come back time and time again. Daily content. Heading into the offseason, there's going to be a ton of content there. So come back, set the alert, do all the good stuff. Now, if you're live, stay with me. We're going to keep going. If you're catching this after the fact, I must say this. Thank you for spending some time with the channel. I appreciate you coming in, finding the preview. Thank you for watching the video. I'll add some links to some other content for you to check out. Enjoy the World Series. And again, thank you for watching.